Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are looking at the MLB PrizePicks plays for Wednesday. We got some games on the early slate. We got 7 on the main slate. Let's go ahead and get started. It was a good day yesterday. Went 4-1 with the 5 props that I had in the previous video. Hit the over strikeouts on Zach Wheeler. Hit the over strikeouts easily on Brennan Woodruff. Hit the Nerfy in that same game with the Milwaukee Brewers and the Rays. No run first inning. Clayton Kershaw did not come through, and then we hit the over half a base on Kyle Schwarber. He continued his hot June with another bomb last night, so that was an easy cover. Let's go ahead and get into today's picks. As always, hit the like button for me if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can check me out on Twitter for updates and more picks at the DFS process. You can check out the website if you're into DFS stuff. And let's go ahead and get started. And if you haven't yet signed up on PrizePicks, use my code process. Hopefully they start to become more available in other states as well very soon. First prop I want to give you guys is a strikeout prop, and we got a lot of low strikeout props today. There's a bunch that I want to take advantage of. First one is going to be taking the over strikeouts on German Marquez. It's only at 4 strikeouts right now. This one looks like an easy one to take the over. Marquez has been coming through a lot this season at this sort of number. Sportsbooks might have it at like 3.5, but it's absolutely juiced to the over at -161. He's gotten you at least 5 Ks in 10 out of his 14 starts this year. So even if you bump this lineup, if you set the line at 4.5, it's a 71% hit rate this season. But the line is at 4, it's still 71% hit rate for him this season. Against the Dodgers, he's faced them already this year. He put up 5 Ks against them. Last year, he had a game where he did have 4 Ks against the Dodgers. But the lineup is different for the Dodgers right now. They are dealing with some injuries. So it looks like they might have Jake Lamb in the lineup today. They brought him up, and he's a career 25.5% strikeout rate. So you know he will strike out a lot. So if we look at this lineup for the Dodgers, there's a lot more opportunities for strikeouts, and they've been scuffling a little bit. There's some rumors flirting around with Freddie Freeman and whether he really wants to be there. But overall, looking at this lineup, bottom half, you have 30% K rate for Taylor, 30% K rate for Bellinger. You're going to have a 25% K rate for Jake Lamb based on his career stuff, 23% for Muncy. Only guys that don't strike out too much would be like Freddie Freeman at 14.7%. Everybody else is, and maybe Justin Turner as well. But he's a lot better against lefties, so don't have to worry too much about a righty with Marquez. I really just think that Marquez at 4 strikeouts, super low prop. Dodgers will K, and we've seen teams have success against the Dodgers. Pitchers have success against them. So might as well go with Marquez. Second strikeout prop is going to be over 4 strikeouts on Dane Dunning. Another one that is very low. Another one that has hit a lot of times this year, and I expect it to fully hit again today. Looking at his numbers this year, if we look at against the season numbers, just look at this year for right now. He's hit at least 4 strikeouts in 75%. He's been a couple of pushes, but 9 of 12, he's gotten you 4 Ks or more. And if we look at just, it's a -139 on sportsbooks. This is a much better strikeout matchup than it would have been a couple days ago, because they just shipped out Carlos Santana, who had maybe a 10% K rate, or might have even been lower than 10%. But he was their least strikeout heavy hitter in this KC team, and they've replaced him with guys that will strike out a lot more. So they put in like Melendez will get more playing time now, and he has a 26% K rate. They called up this guy, Quintino. He's one of their better prospects. We'll see what his stuff translates to, but we know most often than not, guys will struggle a little bit until they get accustomed to the big leagues. But a lot more strikeouts. Just taking out Carlos Santana and having him now on the Mariners just makes this lineup look a lot easier to strike out. You got a lot of guys over 23% K rates with Bobby Witt, Melendez, Dozier, Taylor. Kyle Isabel is going to play a lot more, and I'm sure this guy that they just called up will also K a little bit. So for a guy that Dunning has shown strikeout upside, he's going to be facing off against a pretty balanced lefty-righty. It's going to be pretty evenly split, so, and he has decent numbers against both sides of the plate. Feel like that one is another easy prop to take the over on. Another strikeout prop that I want to go with is going to be Nick Pivetta. It's at 4.5. Another one that just seems very low. Pivetta has faced off against this this Toronto team a couple times already this season. He had a 6 strikeout game and a 4 strikeout game. But he's also just been a bit... He's still just shown some huge flashes. Like, he could easily double this line. He's had a 10K game and 11 strikeout game recently in his last 4 starts. He also had a couple, like a 3K game and a 4K strikeout performance. The 4Ks was against Cleveland, and they have the least... They are the best team in baseball at not striking out. Blue Jays, they will K about 22% against righties. They do have a lot of power. It's a boom and bust lineup, a lot of power, and they do still have a lot of strikeouts in there. He's hit 4.5 Ks 60% of the time this year. If you look at his numbers from last year as well, it's a 65% hit rate. The over 4.5. Looking at Toronto, he's hit this over 4.5 in 4 of the 7 meetings against him. A couple he just fell short earlier this year. That game he did get hit around a bit. He had give up like 4 earned runs, I believe. But looking at this Toronto lineup, we can see that they are pretty righty dominant, and Pivetta is a lot better against righties. So the only lefties he's going to be looking at is going to be Tapia, who doesn't give you much power at all to worry about, and Biggio, who's having an absolutely awful season, and he Ks a lot. So Springer's over 20%, Boucher is 22%, Teoscar's almost 30%, 27.5%, Chapman is over 30%, and Pivetta is just a lot better against righties for his career. Last couple years it's been even, but if you look at his whole career sample, it's been more skewed to righties. This year he's striking out righties 26.3% compared to 20.7% against lefties. The ISO is lower, so I really do expect Pivetta to get me 5Ks at least today. That's another very, very low prop that I would definitely want to take advantage of. A fantasy score prop is going to be taking Sandy Alcantara's over 35.5 fantasy. He's coming off of a game where he got hit around a little bit by the Mets, but he did have a great game against the Cardinals earlier this year, and he's just been still firmly in the mix for Cy Young in the National League if the season ended today. He went 8 strong against the Cardinals earlier. Didn't get the win in that one, which is pretty hard to do when you don't give up any runs. But 8 strong, 6 strikeouts for him in that earlier meeting. The Cardinals will be, looking to. They won the first couple games of the series after a comeback win last night. But Alcantara's a guy that, he's just one of the best pitchers in the entire league at this season. He goes deep, even though he gave up 4 earned runs against the Mets and a couple of home runs. First time he's given up some home runs in quite some time, since the beginning of May. He still gave you 96 pitches and still went 7 strong. And, he does give you upside to get you well over 100 pitches. He's typically going to go at least 7, if not 8 innings. So whatever his pitching outs ends up being on PrizePicks, I love taking the over on that as well, just because he's always going 7 at least, and if not going 8. And Alcantara 35.5. This could be a game that the Marlins will finally win against the Cardinals today. And then the last prop is another strikeout prop. You might have guessed it based on the DraftKings screen, but taking the over strikeouts on Shohei Ohtani, 6 Ks. Love that number. He's coming off of a crazy 13 strikeout performance in his most recent start. Looking at this matchup, it is a favorable one for a guy like Ohtani because the White Sox do have a lot of right-handed hitters in this lineup. You're looking at 6 righties, a lefty and Gavin Sheets, lefty in the catchers, not much big of a deal, and then a switch hitter in Moncada, who's having a terrible season at this point. Overall, Ohtani has a 33% K rate this year. Look at the numbers between righties and lefties. He's striking out lefties 30%, which is really good, but righties has been even better at 35.3%. So good opportunities when he's facing off against 6 righties. Some of these guys won't K too much, but Ohtani is just a different animal, and he's typically going to get you at least like 6 Ks. He has 90 plus Ks in 68 innings this year, so hopefully he's able to take advantage of the bottom half of the lineup and get you some strikeouts there. That's what I got for you guys today. Those are the 5 picks that I want to share with you guys on PrizePicks today. So we're taking the over Ks on Herman Marquez, over strikeouts on Dane Dunning, over strikeouts on Nick Pivetta, over fantasy on Sandy Alcantara, and over strikeouts on Shohei Ohtani. We'll see if anybody looks appealing on total bases. Yesterday, Schwarber really stuck out at just half a base. Nothing really. I don't see any half a base that looks too appealing. Definitely have some guys, over 1.5 bases that you can consider, but Got 5 picks in here. You can mix and match. You can put some, split it up if you wanted to. But that's what I got for you guys. Best of luck. Hit the like button before you guys head out, and I'll see you all next time.